Welcome back to our coverage of the New Hampshire primary. 47 minutes now since the final polls closed. The drama is over, as we now know who the winner is, and it is former President Trump. 53% of the vote right now, 46% for Nikki Haley, who was up on stage a short time ago congratulating the former president on this victory tonight.
Haley spent a lot of time in the Granite State. The former president, not so much, but he has a very enthusiastic crowd there tonight waiting to hear from him. Our Louisa Moller joins us live now from the Trump headquarters in Nashua. Louisa?
Well, Lisa, David, there is certainly a party-like atmosphere, but I'll tell you something interesting. This crowd is somewhat more muted than I expected. There were cheers right as the AP was first calling the race for Trump, and then when Nikki Haley took the stage and gave her concession speech in this primary. But if anything, it was almost anticlimactic, as if they expected this to happen. At the same time, there are many Trump loyalists and surrogates walking around this room, and they are already talking about the general election. They are not talking about South Carolina. One of the folks who's here is Vivek Ramaswamy, former presidential candidate, supporter of Mr. Trump as soon as he got out of the race and frankly before. So I asked Ramaswamy, you know, there are certainly things that make this campaign unique and potentially our electability issues in the general election. The fact that Donald Trump, if elected, can only serve for 4 years, and the fact that he is going to have to ping pong between the courtroom and the campaign trail. Here's what Ramaswamy told me.
I think it could actually help him, because I think people are sick and tired of what they've been force-fed by the media. People understand that these prosecutions, these persecutions really, are politicized. And I think they're sick and tired of two tiers of justice. And whether you're a Republican or Democrat or black or white, you should want one standard of justice for all Americans. And anybody who's studied this case understands that these are politicized exercises in politics, not in justice. And so far what you've seen across the country, and I think it's for good reasons, people are actually rallying to Donald Trump's support because of these unjust persecutions. And I think on the other side of this, it's going to put him in a position to, dare I say, reunite this country as an America First president that goes beyond black or white or red or blue. And that's what I want to see in this country. I'm going to do everything in my power to make that happen. And I believe Donald Trump is going to do the same thing as well and be successful at it. And so that's the opportunity sitting in front of us, reuniting this nation.
Last question. Do you want to be vice president?
I want to do what's right for the country. And I think that every one of us has to look inside and ask ourselves, what are the skill sets that we can best make use of to do what's right for the country? The core premise of my campaign was shutting down those administrative agencies. Get in there, gut the deep state, that permanent state, the three-letter agencies of people who were never elected. And I think that's something Donald Trump cares deeply about, too. So in whatever way I can be most helpful to this country and to the next administration, I will. There are ways to drive change outside of government as well. So this isn't about my career, it's about the country, but I will do whatever is right for this country. You have my commitment on that.
All right, so you heard me ask Vivek about his VP aspirations, and he was ambiguous. But you can't help but think that there are a lot of people in this crowd who might have that on the mind. I actually just asked Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene if she would want to be President Trump's vice president. She was also indirect.